time travel. I would like to see...
I would like to see our food being grown naturally, that we have smaller farms, that we have understood how to manage the landscape in a way that mimics our natural systems so that we have our biodiversity intact, we have connected ecosystems, and we produce food that doesn't make people sick.
Fabulous. This is a discussion about anything to do with 2065, so we don't have to stay with food. You can if you want. It's up to you. So, William.
Yeah, well, in 2065, I want to see a natural world still here, and that includes, you know, the farming, the natural world in farming, real cattle, sheep, grains is completely under threat, as is clean food. And I really want to see that we have clean food, and whatever GM's been let in the door, we stop it now so that it doesn't spread to every form of grass, animal, grain, and every organism, you know, possible to commercialise, so that we actually do have a natural world that we've invested 10,000 years of development of farming into, that we protect that.
So this one, it's a very good point. I mean, I'm a typical person in Gen X. I went to university, I lived in Perth. I've never met anyone my age who's a farmer. Is there a threat that people are losing that knowledge? And what can we do to retain that knowledge? And anybody else who has a question, please feel free. We will open up to the audience.
I feel like, and I really don't wish to be mean, but I feel like people don't know how their food's grown anymore. If people knew, they would be seriously horrified. It's changed so fast. I know this panel's sort of been about it, but the way that food was grown, when I was a boy, the way food was grown and the land was ploughed and plants were grown on bare soil. I mean, now the animals are disappearing, farmers are moving off the land on a lot of farms. The fields are repeatedly sprayed, not just with weedicides, but insecticides, and it's really become not really farming, not growing things. It's more sort of like being an industrialist, and it's the potential is there behind this madness of certain GM crops. There are people who would genetically modify everything from fish to the trees to every form of grain. And as a biodynamic and organic farmer and a friend of your friend Steve Marsh, you know, it's beyond. It's now. I just look at the small number of farmers farming naturally around, scattered through this state, and if it goes further, where these lunatics would take it in the form of, you know, the Nationals and the Liberals in charge, if it spreads further, I just don't see how we could even stop it spreading. You know, you can't stop the spread of this. So I just see the natural world of our food, and of natural foods that have been developed by people starting 10,000 years ago, selecting nice fat corn plants or oat. It's under threat completely. We can't, you know, if we open this door, we can't get back to that.
Let's give a big clap. That is very... Let's hear from you.
So I take that I'm speaking as Josh, not
You're
Stu.
speaking as Josh, and you can talk about, you don't have to talk about food, you can talk about housing, you can talk about...
And can we just be totally clear that I was obviously very tongue-in-cheek about Stu? We do know that. In the character, which kind of scared me too. I always aspired to be an actor and ended up being a TV gardener instead. But no, but look, in 2065, the future of food, what I would like to see is food being respected and seen as a necessity and not as a commodity. That's the first thing. I'd also, you know, obviously completely backing everything that William and Rachel said, but I'd also like to see a much stronger focus, hopefully well before 2065, about a relocalisation of food and about food coming back, you know, nearer towards population centres. Food being seen as a key component of the approach to sustainable urban environments, period and food systems and the like. You know, one of the big risks that we have alongside you know, the introduction of GMO the commercialisation of our foods and seeing our crops ending up in the hands of agribusiness. One of the big risks that sometimes gets forgotten within those big issue debates and discussions is that the hinterland where our food is grown is getting further and further away. And obviously, coupled with real issues of the energy crisis and supply chain magnets, we're in a fairly precarious situation. And all sorts of figures get floated about. Ranging from the amount of food that we have on our shelves. Fresh stuff perishes within days. Sort of preserved foods, canned goods, and the like. There could be anywhere from sort of 5 to 7 days worth of food on our shelves. And if ships stop or trucks stop or whatever happens, and I'm not a doomsday, so that's not what I'm saying, but we are in a highly precarious situation, and we've got it pretty good here in Perth compared to bigger cities around the world. And really, in terms of urban planning and the sort of the move towards the expectation that cities will be the major population centres around the world, food is just not being taken seriously enough, and we just need to be thinking much more about that.
Absolutely, fabulous. Please give me 65. I would like to see anything.
So I would like to see a world where we have understood and live within our limits, where we're able to share the limited resources that we're inevitably going to have, where we are able to share the access to food, where we're going to be able to share the water that is still clean, where we can equitably and justly deal with the mass migration of people that is going to be happening, where we are intelligently and with honour and dignity relocating the cities and towns and living areas that need to be moved because of changing weather patterns, because of increased sea level, because of it being too hot to live in the north of Australia. So for me, yeah, the kind of 2065 is one where we're dealing with what we've already loaded into the system, but we're dealing with it in justice. We've totally, by then we will have totally altered the economic paradigm that we're living in. Yeah. No longer will it be growth and profit over human rights and rights for other species. By then we will have put back into the way in which we operate and the way in which we think is a world where it's about equity and sharing and the commons, and that's the kind of world that I think we're building and we're working to create in 65.
Thank you. A very positive please, Sophie.
Do you know what? I think that there's a big shift happening. People are waking up. I love the phrase sheeple. Like, there are so many people that have just got no bloody idea what's going on, and it infuriates me. And the more conversations like this, the more we actually talk about it. We've got everything that we need now. We've got social media, which is just, we can say anything that we want to. And that people start to, where does your food come from? It almost seems like an overused phrase at the moment. But a lot of people have got no idea. I think WA, the distribution networks have got to change. Melons from Kununurra coming all the way to Perth and then being packaged and sent to Byrne. That's just one tiny thing. I was in Donnybrook in apricot season, and in the IGA in Donnybrook, there was apricots from New Zealand. Because it's cheaper. That is, to me, that's completely crazy. And when you put it out there to people think it's crazy. Why is it happening? We need to start making complaints. Having this kind of conversation everywhere. And in 2065, that everyone's growing their own food. That everyone knows what's in season and what's at its best. In wherever they're living, and also eating. Excuse me. Buying from smaller producers and not going to the supermarkets, and maybe, hey, there might not be any supermarkets. So that's what I'd like to say.
Thank you very, very much, Sophie.